day late. Sorry. But today I'm going to tell you what we do as far as school. The Vlogsalot family are homeschoolers. That's right. I am the teacher. We have Megan. She will be going into the 7th grade this year. Connor will be in the 3rd grade, and Reagan will be in the 1st grade. Why are we homeschooling? Well, let me tell you, when we first started the homeschooling journey, I was dead against it. My husband was like, well, what are we going to do? Are we going to put her in the public school down the road? Are we going to do the private school? Or what about homeschooling? And I was like, hello? I didn't like school when I went there. I am not a teacher. No, I was just so, we're not going to do it. I was just dead set against not doing it. We had actually received the paperwork and the financial forms. She was going to go to a private school. And before we could even mail the forms in, homeschooling, it kept popping up everywhere. And I would just like brush it off. I was like, whatever, I'm not doing that. And finally it got to the point where, it kept coming up so much that I was like, look, we're going to pray about it. And if it's meant to be, then we'll be homeschooling. And here we are 7 years later, and I guess it was meant to be because I'm homeschooling. I'll be honest with you, some days are better than others. And I don't have a lot of patience, which is, I guess, odd because I'm like teaching. But it works for us, and I understand that it won't work for everybody. But right now I feel comfortable doing it. We have actually talked about putting them in a public school, and I'm like, I just can't. One of the reasons, of course, the world that we live in today is just not what it used to be, and I'm scared for my kids. So, but I'm not saying that I'm going to, I know they're going to have to get out and, be on their own and learn things on their own, and they're not totally sheltered to the outside world. I mean, they're not socialized or whatever. Some people have the misconceptions that some people have about homeschoolers. They interact with other kids and all that good stuff. It's just the stories that I hear that go on in the schools. It's just like it blows my mind, because that didn't happen when I went to school, and I went to a public school. So no way would I bash public, private. My husband went to a private school. So homeschooling, right now it's working for us, so we're doing it. And I like the fact that I can control what they're learning, and I can control how long they're learning whatever they need to learn. Like if they're not catching on, we can stay a couple of weeks, or if they're catching on really fast, we can move on. It's just I don't really know how to explain it, but it works for us, so that's why we do it. And if it doesn't work for us in the future, then we'll reevaluate the situation and we'll go from there. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. We homeschool, and we haven't started back yet. Actually, I think the public schools around here are starting back in 3 or 4 days here. And we're not going to start back until after baby Kennedy gets here. So probably at the end of September. Which, that's another thing. I mean, if something like, my pregnancy comes up and I'm not able to teach the kids, like they need to be taught, we can put it off. There's no big deal. And here where we live, there's no specific laws. All I have to do at the beginning of the year is fill out what they call a certificate of enrollment, and it just pretty much tells the school board that we're homeschooling, and I guess they keep that on file. But other than the laws here in Mississippi, there are none. Now I know it's different everywhere else, but it's pretty basic here, and they don't have to go for testing. But we do our own testing, and my kids right now are actually further ahead than their friends that are in the same sorry, I've got aren't the same grade. So, you know, yeah, that's why we homeschool. And I would love to know what you guys do as far as schooling. Do you go to public, private? Do you homeschool? If you homeschool, leave me a comment. I would love to get to know some other YouTubing homeschoolers, because I know of one family, the Kellogg's family, but I don't think I know of any other families that are. Oh, hey, that's Mike and Holly. They just started homeschooling. But other than that, I think we're kind of like in the minority here. So let me know if you homeschool, and I guess we'll see you guys next week. Bye!